the kind of the difference with premises liability cases is these cases cannot and do not exist on the brief soundbite. They cannot exist and do not exist on the soundbite. Now, I have a lot of different examples here. I've chosen two more recent ones than I have on the screen, but we had a lady call very recently who I get her on the phone and she had heard me on the radio, so she was very happy to speak with me, and she was excited. But this is what she tells me. She said, "Well, I was working as a maintenance person at an apartment complex, and the maintenance people didn't put down salt, and I fell and broke my ankle and had to have a surgery." Now, if you listen to that case on the soundbite, I'm the maintenance person. The maintenance person didn't put down salt, and I have a very severe injury. On the soundbite, that case sounds terrible, right? I mean, it sounds like she would basically have to sue herself because she sounds like she was the person that should have put down the salt that caused her to fall. And so we obviously heard that soundbite and we thought that would be very, very unusual. But we dug deeper. Okay. And we dug deeper and we got those details. Well, it turned out that she was a maintenance person, but it turns out that the maintenance people at the apartment complex were not responsible for the snow and ice remediation. And in fact, there was a third party company that was responsible for that. Okay. So there was a third party company that was responsible for the snow and ice remediation. And in addition to that, we found out, we kept asking questions. We found out in addition to that, whoa, wait a minute. In addition to that, there was a third-party security company that if the snow and ice remediation didn't happen, they were responsible for going ahead and calling the snow and ice so that they could have the remediation. So we went from a lady that it sounded like she just forgot to put down the salt herself and she fell on it. We went from that to the new case without the soundbite with the details, which is there were actually two third-party contractors that were probably responsible for her fall, very severe fall, again, fracture with a surgery. And so we took that case from a soundbite where we never could have taken it, where once we have the details, we were able to ferret out not only better liability, but also additional insured defendants. Now, in addition to that, I give another example, which is we have a case in Michigan where a guy called us and he said this. He goes, "Yeah, I was walking out in my pasture on snow and ice on my own property, and I fell, and then I had to have a shoulder surgery." Well, once again, that sounds terrible. Okay, that sounds terrible from the outset because he sounds like he's walking on his own property and it was his own negligence that caused him to fall. The soundbite here on this guy, once again, was terrible. "Yeah, I'm walking on my own property and I'm out there in the pasture and ice and snow and I fell and I have a shoulder surgery." No way. Not only an unwinnable case, there just wouldn't be any liability anywhere. But again, once we got into the details, the details, the who, what, where, when, why, how, the detail we asked him, it turned out that where he fell was on the border between his property and a neighbor's property. And it turned out as we asked more questions that the neighbor's fence over the 2 years that he'd lived there had fallen into disrepair, and that barbed wire from the fence had come off of the neighbor's fence and come onto our client's property. And as we asked more questions, it turned out that barbed wire then was underneath ice and snow that caught this guy's leg, and he falls and has an incredible shoulder injury. So we go from the soundbite of a guy that fell on his own property in ice and snow to the neighbor's active negligence in allowing his fence to fall into disrepair, caused the injury and caused the need for his shoulder surgery. So again, the difference between these cases existing in a soundbite versus our duty as lawyers to find out what really happened and get into the underneath. And it comes down to this key question that on these calls, you have to ask over and over and over again with incredible patience, which is this: what specifically caused the fall? What specifically caused the fall? They don't know it, but they sometimes fight you on telling you that. You have to get there, whatever it takes for you to get there, no matter how many times you have to ask it, no matter how long you have to spend with these people, no matter how much incredible patience and kindness that you need to show, you've got to get past that soundbite into what specifically caused the fall.